Alright, so, alright, I'm trying to figure out this, like this, or should I maybe have a light over to give a little more light? I don't know. Alright. I mean, I don't know if we want light in it. Alright, so we're trying to, big multitasker. We like to do multiple things at the same time. So people have been saying, I need a reel, I need a podcast. I don't know, I'm just kind of thinking. So I did a little research, trying to look through stuff. And podcasts and real elements of success. That kind of flows. Just did some bullets here. So when it's like scheduled to post, I think we're gonna post it today if all goes well. I mean, we'll see. So yeah, kind of if anybody's watching this, if we even use this part of it, scheduling the post, we plan to post it today if all goes well. That's the schedule. Introduce yourself. It's me talking. I'm Israel Partridge. So yeah, okay, but we'll get that. We're not in the real elements of it. Be authentic. I mean, everybody knows I am who I am. So yeah. Plan it out and share details of your plan. I'll kind of go into details of what I'm thinking. Probably when we get kind of on set. Well, it's not like a movie production, like not that kind of set, but kind of where we plan on hosting the podcast. It says have multiple angles, and then have closing statements. I guess I'm really not going to say anything about closing statements right now because it's kind of at the beginning of the podcast. Well, let's just move to where we're going to do this. For starters, have some elements. So I've got some of my things I'm going to be using. So I mean, it's my cheat sheet. So it's a podcast. One, like, I know the biggest crave is selfie sticks. Go to video mode. So gotta make sure I don't cover up the. So if you're creating your own selfie stick, I'm just kind of multitasking. I'm using so you gotta watch this because the camera, you gotta make sure it's not in the wrong spot. You want to make sure you can still hit record. So just kind of get this joker wrapped in there real well. That way I can get angles of myself while I'm videoing this. So, and good to go. So, bad thing about, well, actually I can kind of see myself in the screen a little bit. So, like, you can zoom in and out. So, like, in the middle of the podcast, I can kind of, it's a whole scope of things. Multiple angles. I'm kind of planning to, was able to get a hold of several of these. So, I wonder which side's going to go on the ground better. I'm going to really do the main video portion outside. And just want to make sure I have multiple angles. I don't want to call anybody in the middle of it. You do have to be careful about that. Hit end. Okay, hit end again. And get all my video angles put together here. I know I'm kind of sharing a little bit info on what to do, how to do, but I mean, look at these, they look great. But believe it or not, it's actually my first podcast. I just did a little bit of research. So I found these pods. The brand I'm going with is supposed to be be authentic. Share details. Yeah, it's on there. I'm using a Great Value brand. Those are like 60 in a package. So we're going to be using this this kind of pod. And the brand name's mostly gone off of this. I would tell you what brand this is, but well, actually, it's on the rod. It's a Fusion. So just using this like as a simple caster. I am going to go ahead and wrap this baby up. Last thing I need is this thing to come off. See if I can get this baby wrapped up real well. I grew up, my mom's always telling me, like, don't throw that in the house. Like, so I'm definitely making sure, like, if you do this at home, doing your own podcast, please make sure, do it outside. Last thing we need is our mom getting all over us. I got kind of a loop knot in there, so somehow or another, but we're gonna wrap this around. This baby tied on it in here. Try not to tie so hard because, you know, tie it too hard, it's going to rupture in here. You could say I didn't cast it in the house, but where's your proof? You know? So we got the pod hanging. I'm laying it right down in the fridge. Alright. Alright, get my shoes. Parents always tell me to put on my shoes. Go outside. Oh, Chacos. Alright. Grab my camera angles, my selfie stick, and let's go on out, ladies and gents, and we'll get ready. So we've got a reel on the edge of this pod, or on the, you know, rod and reel. So we're going to try to kind of multitask, get a reel and a podcast kind of rolling at the same time. That's kind of the goal. Go toward the swing area there. I'm gonna keep my selfie stick handy. Give me some angle over here. Make sure it's gonna look good in that whole area. Alright. Let's get us in the camera mode. Oh yeah. It's looking great. Alright. Let's say, baby, we're recording. All right, baby. Yeah. Rolling. Get the next angle. I kind of want to see the pod coming to me. So I'm going to go ahead and do another angle back here. Because there's nothing like 3D image, you know, coming to you. Yeah, it's gonna look great. Right. Selfie stick 2. LA technology. You can do all this. Alright, we're rolling. Problem with a selfie stick is I can't. Yeah. Hold it together. God bless barbecue grills. There we go. Alright, so our pod is safely hanging from the reel. Baby rolling. Slacking here. This line's a little old. Just kind of catching some. But what can you say? It's my first podcast. Alright. And Woo! Nothing like a 3D image. Alright, so I have just officially done my first podcast, and now let's reel her in. Alright. Absolutely, look at her. She's just coming. Oh yeah. Here she comes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, come on baby, come on. Yes. And podcast and a reel. Combination, multitasking. Anyway, that's my first podcast. I hope y'all learned a little bit. And see you next time. Alright, I'm back. This is actually not the second podcast. This is still the first podcast. I was kind of closing it out and I left my cheat sheet inside, but I remember there's supposed to be closing statements. So honestly, in closing statements, anybody can have a successful podcast. I mean, you saw that. It was very, very effective. Didn't have to even take a second take. It just went. It was actually even able to cast over the last camera. Just make sure you have good camera angles. So you got all these angles. And I mean, thank God for the grill. We're still filming there, still in view of that one. Just keep it safe. Like, watch out, like for the neighbor's cat or dog. You don't want to hit them with that, and then end up eating it, thinking it's a treat. Something like that. If they do run after it, real fast. That's pretty much it. But what can you say? It's my first podcast. All right, and woo! Nothing like a 3D image. All right, so I have just officially done my first podcast, and now let's reel her in. All right. We're rolling. Problem with a selfie stick is I can't really cast and hold it together. God bless barbecue grills. There we go. Alright, so our pod is safely hanging from the reel. Alright, give me a little slack in here. This line's a little old. Just kind of catching some. But, what can you say? It's my first podcast. Alright, and woo! Nothing like a 3D image. Alright, so I have just officially done my first podcast, and now let's reel her in. Alright.